Who did Balak, king of Moab, want to use to curse Israel? This is the question that we seek to answer today as we continue our verse-by-verse study of the book of Numbers on Walking Through the Bible. If you have a Bible with you, turn to Numbers 22. We're going to be reading from verses 1 to 12. If you don't have a Bible, don't worry. Just follow along with us on the screen. The version that we'll be reading from is the New King James Version. So, Numbers 22, beginning at verse 1. Then the children of Israel moved and camped in the plains of Moab on the side of the Jordan across from Jericho. Now Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was exceedingly afraid of the people because they were many, and Moab was sick with dread because of the children of Israel. So Moab said to the elders of Midian, "Now this company will lick up everything around us, as an ox licks up the grass of the field." And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time. Then he sent messengers to Balaam, the son of Beor, at Pethor, which is near the river, in the land of the sons of his people, to call him, saying, "Look, a people has come from Egypt. See, they covered the face of the earth, and are settling next to me. Therefore please come at once, curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I shall be able to defeat them, and drive them out of the land, for I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed." So the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the diviner's fee in their hand, and they came to Balaam, and spoke to him the words of Balak. And he said to them, "Lodge here tonight, and I will bring back word to you, as the Lord speaks to me." So the princes of Moab stayed with Balaam. Then God came to Balaam and said, "Who are these men with you?" So Balaam said to God, "Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent to me, saying, 'Look, a people has come out of Egypt, and they covered the face of the earth. Come now, curse them for me. Perhaps I shall be able to overpower them and drive them out.' And God said to Balaam, 'You shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed.'" The children of Israel are now situated in the plains of Moab across from Jericho. They largely will be here for the rest of the book of Numbers, the entirety of Deuteronomy, until the beginning of Joshua, though the time period for this stay is very short, being less than a year. They have defeated the Amorites and the people of Bashan to now control all the land north of the Arnon River up to the Sea of Galilee and west of the Ammonites. This land will eventually be the land given to the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh. The king of Moab, who is known as Balak, has seen what has gone on with the battles that Israel fought and is understandably worried. Why? Well, from Moab's perspective, this concern is valid, for after all, the Amorites had previously defeated Moab and decreased her borders, and now this nation was defeated by an even powerful nation. Could Moab be next? Perhaps as a punishment for not allowing Israel to pass through? Balak didn't have the inside information that God was going to spare Moab from Israel because of their ancestor Lot. Why hadn't God told Balak this? Well, we can't know for sure, but we do know that the Moabites didn't serve the true God, and so God wasn't obliged to reveal anything to them concerning his thoughts. Balak's worry caused him to consult with the Midianites, the people to his southeast. Now, we have met the Midianites before, most notably because Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, was a priest of Midian. But the Midianites were larger than just one family. Their land typically stretched from northern Saudi Arabia, near the Red Sea, to the eastern borders of Edom and Moab. The Midianites were descendants of Abraham through Keturah, and had intermarried with the Ishmaelites, who were also descendants of Abraham through Hagar and Ishmael. That is why sometimes you see, like in the story of Joseph, Ishmaelites and Midianites sometimes used interchangeably. Together, the Moabites and the Midianites decided to oppose Israel, but not immediately, like Sihon and Og had. They needed to ensure victory, and for that, they sought to have Israel cursed. That is why they sent for the services of a man named Balaam, the son of Beor, at Pethor, which is near the river Euphrates, and told them of their predicament. Who was this man, Balaam? Well, he is a noted prophet in the region, and it seems that whomever is blessed by Balaam is blessed, and whoever is cursed by Balaam is cursed. Now, we might think that Balaam is an idolatrous prophet who possessed lying wonders. But from what we read of here, he actually has a belief in the true God of heaven, for he speaks to God. The question is, how did he get to know about the true God? Well, let's remember. Abraham dwelt in Haran, which is very near where Pethor would have been. Laban, who was the grandson of Nahor, Abraham's brother, lived in Haran long after Jacob left with Rachel and Leah, Laban's daughters. And even though idolatry was, I'm sure, rampant up there, complete amnesia of the true God of heaven obviously hadn't set in, as is evident by Balaam. But lest we think of Balaam as a righteous man, he is not, for he was easily motivated by greed. Those sent by the Moabites and the Midianites to Balaam came with a diviner's fee, showing us that Balaam charged for his services. When these men arrived, again Balaam was told of this people who had come up out of Egypt, and that Moab was feeling threatened by their presence, so they desired that Balaam curse the people. Balaam invited the messengers to stay the night, and in the morning he would bring back the word of the Lord. That evening God spoke to Balaam and asked who these men were. It's not that God didn't know, but he was having a conversation with Balaam. Balaam explained what the men wanted him to do, to which God told Balaam not to go out with these men, nor was he to curse Israel, for they were blessed. What would Balaam do? We'll find out, the Lord willing, in the next lesson. With that, our time is up for today. The Lord willing, we hope you'll join us for tomorrow's discussion of Numbers chapter 22, verses 13 to 21, as we continue our walk through the Bible, one verse at a time. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you found it edifying and ask that you not only subscribe to our channel and podcast, but that you like and share this episode among your friends, so that the saving gospel of Jesus Christ can go out to the whole world.